The pop-up birthday card is a very visually exciting card to make, and quite a simple one as well. It comes in two flavours, sort of boy and girl or chocolate and strawberry cake, and you can get matching candles accordingly. So the first thing you need to do is print out your pop-out sections. As you can see here, I've already done that. They come in two sheets. You have the candles and the cake. Colour choice is yours. And the next thing you'll need is the backing paper, and again, this is just my sort of serving suggestion. I've printed the same colour on both sides because I really like the pattern, and I think that's going to make for a fantastic card. So that's now been scored and nicely creased, ready for the pop-up to go on. The next thing to do is to deal with these two elements. The first one I'm going to work on is the birthday cake, and with my scoring tool here, just score all the way round the four edges. This is a very nice and simple way of making your card. So there you go, around there like that. And now it's simply a case of folding in the various sections. So I'm just going to tease that over and fold it that way, and the same again there. If you want to, just pick it up with your fingers. Sometimes I find what I call walking the line, just doing that helps. So those two go over there with a trusty piece of paper. I'm now going to put a nice firm crease, because these two create what I call the icing on the cake, as we can see there. And just open that up to make it easier to see what's happening. The two flaps which will go inwards, left and right there. Okay, so we've got those main elements there. If you look very carefully, you'll see a very faint line running through the middle. That's the centre line. So again, with the ruler and your scoring tool, line up with that. Put a nice crease through it. Not too hard on the colour, because you can sometimes lift parts of the print there. And again, fingers underneath here. This is just my technique. Twist it over, bend it over, nice crisp line, and put a tight crease in that. And there we go, that's the cake section. So that now pops over there like so, that one over there. Because I've had this opened and closed a couple of times, I'm just going to again strengthen those creases. Don't worry if it doesn't sit down perfectly, because when the card's made, as you can see, as that bends like that, in fact it's not a bad idea to put those creases in like that, you'll see that that pulls in nicely. Okay, the next element are the candles. Now these are fairly straightforward, but there's a little bit of complicated folding going on. First of all, just score along the lines, the dotted lines. So we've got two tabs here that will need scoring, which I will do there. Now we've got a centre line. I would give a firm amount of pressure on here. This is going to be beneath the cake. You won't see these lines, so don't. But a good, firm, strong line will help make the fold a little bit easier. So it doesn't matter if by pressing that little bit harder that you might tear the surface of the paper. As long as we keep the strength in, we'll be fine. Okay, so by that I mean as long as we don't tear right through it, you'll be okay. Those two flaps fold in. This then folds in half. You can see here. I'll just fold that there. Okay, and now you're ready for the tricky bit, and that's this bit in here, because that pinches in and folds like that. So let me show you here. We can see we want to fold that to there. And what we're going to do now is just carefully bend that half there, like so. Come round, support your finger underneath. Can you see that? I'm supporting it just that side of the crease. Squeeze that second one in, and there we go. Can you see it starting to bend? And that's it. That's that fold. And there we go. That's fantastic. That's all in. A nice gentle rub on this, not too hard. because the paper's a little bit thinner, and I think it's going to work fine. And there we go, those are our candles there, and they're going to go down first. Now for a guide measure on here, if you take a ruler and mark 110 millimeters or 11 centimeters and just put a little pencil mark down from the top there, that's your guide for where this is going to go. And really, in essence, what I'm going to do is glue these two tabs here, and then we're just going to gently rest that down here and stick it like that, and we can see our center line lining up there, and that will produce the pop-up movement. That's our mark there, our pencil mark. The tabs are glued, we can see how that bends, so just gently rest it down. That's sticking nicely to me, with the tip just about there, just touching, and then the center line there, we can see that all lining up nicely, and just one line down, just touch the other part there, and we'll let this sort of go into position as it folds. Can you see now as I'm folding that, we must make sure that the candles are in. That's the important thing, that when this is closed, that those candles don't stick out from there. So if they do, you'll just have to measure a little bit further down. It depends on the size of the paper. I've printed edge to edge on this, so it's gone right to a full A4. If you're a little bit short, then just move it down a wee bit to allow for that. But we can now see our candle mechanism working there, so that's great. So the next thing to do is the cake, and for that I'm simply now going to glue these two tabs here. So if I pop that to one side, we reverse on the back, so it's that part there, I'll glue onto there, bend that over, same onto there, and then we're ready to place our cake down. Now this needs to cover that part there when it's at its flattest, so just come up a wee bit, then that bit of mechanism doesn't show, but the more we have there, the more spectacular the rise of the candles. You'll see the center line on this part here, your fold, and then there, so just try and line all of that up. Again, I'm going to just gently press that down, that's attaching it, and then let the final fold here, make sure that that is sticking where it wants to go. If it doesn't, just release it now, make sure one side is stuck. I'm going to release that and then put it down there. I'm going to show you then that creates our cake pop-up movement. We can see this wonderful candle rising with the cake, and that's our pop-up movement there.